Hello, welcome. Thanks for tuning in once again to these exercise videos. I hope you found benefit from both the previous videos, the chair-based warm-up that we do in our senior strength and strength classes, and also the two pillars of good falls prevention, the lower limb strength, the stand-up, sit-down squat, and the center of gravity base of support relationship. So in this video, we're going to go through some very simple resistance exercises. So at home, you might not have weights. You might grab 2 cans of tinned beans or whatever tinned food you happen to have in your cupboard. That will add a weight that's a little bit more than your own body weight, and so it'll become a resistance exercise. So I'm going to work with these 2 kilo dumbbells because that's about my limit, and so you can work with your tins or the other. Somebody in one of my strength and stretch classes has a water bottle full of water. So again, that's just a little bit of weight, but it's a little bit of weight more than her own body weight, and that's what she uses. So you might use that. Water bottles filled with water, but cans of food are really good. Bottles of milk, but just make sure you don't do it for too long and it goes sour, ends up being cheese, cream, whether the byproduct of milk is. So first of all, we have 3 big muscle groups and 3 small muscle groups when we think about exercise programming. Big muscle groups: legs, chest, back. Small muscle groups: shoulders, triceps, biceps. We've done the legs, the squat. If you stick with your sit-down, stand-up squats, you're well covered for your lower limb strength, for your leg exercises. We've also done the extensions and the flexions and a lot of hip work, glute work, which all will stand you in good stead for lower limb strength. So in this video, I will show you an exercise for the back, the chest, which is a little bit tricky with dumbbells, but we'll do one nevertheless. Shoulders, biceps, triceps. So we'll start with the back. And we have our chair. So what we'll do with the chair is we'll just turn it to the side. Just take one of your dumbbells, because it's a single arm exercise. The stance is pretty much as if you're going back into that squat as we did before. So again, that hip hinge, as I said, it's the basis of most of the movement in the gym. So you go back into the hip hinge, just place your hand on the chair, and this arm should be just hanging from the shoulder. Back nice and straight, vertical shins, all the energy going down through the heels, and from here, bending the arm, lifting that elbow above the level of the back and really squeezing that shoulder blade. Yeah? Breathing out. Remember what we said about the breathing? Always breathing out on the exertion part of the exercise, so the hardest part. So breathe in, because that's your recovery, and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Really important that it's probably the thoracic spine is straight as well in this, and you just get that by just pushing through, either thinking about pulling the shoulders back and down or pushing the chest forward will have the desired effect. So shoulders back and down, chest forward, thoracic spine straight. Breathing out, squeezing the shoulder blade, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. You might do it lessen the angle, so this is a regression. So you might do it here. You might do it with a staggered stance. So you might end up in this position. You'll still get the benefit of the back muscles, of the scapula, rhomboids working. So that's a single arm bent over row. That's a rowing action. It's our pull action. Yeah. For the back. As I said, the chest, a little bit more complicated. We usually, in senior strength and stretch, we usually use a TheraBand, and we'll put it around the back of the chair, or we'll put it on one of the bars and do a press using the TheraBand. So we'll take that principle. We've got our cans of food, or weights, or water bottles, and just make sure that your elbows are on line with the shoulders, and we'll do a press, chest press. Breathing out as you press. Often the exertion part, the hardest part, is in the name of the exercise. So chest press is the name of this exercise, and that tells you exactly where to breathe out when you press. So you may find on this one you're not able to do many of them because it's really quite fatiguing through the deltoids, through the shoulder. But that's a chest press, and that's an exercise we can do with cans of fruit or beans or whatever other food stuff you have, and it exercises the pecs. Anything that's a press comes from the chest. So we have our row, our pull exercise for the back, and our press exercise for the chest, as well as our squats for the legs. Our small muscle groups, as I said, the shoulders, triceps, biceps. So this is a shoulder exercise, and I might give you two versions of each of these, because people might not be able to fully extend the elbows in this. So from here, neutral, so we got the palms facing each other. This just minimizes the risk of injury. Here, we're abducted and externally rotated, which just increases the risk of injury. So we keep it here nice and neutral, the neutral position, we call it. And from here, breathing out, supporting the exertion part of the exercise, the press with the outward breath, and then in. Breathing in and breathing out. Shoulder press, breathe in. Breathe out, breathe in. No need to rush any of these exercises. They don't have to be done quickly. In fact, if you do them slowly, the muscles get more time under tension, which is very, very good for strength work. So breathing out, fully extending the elbows. 10 of those, very good. Now if you're not able to get that full extension here, that overhead, this is a very good exercise for the deltoid muscles, for the shoulders. So holding your weight, your cans of food or your water, the elbows on a right angle, 90 degrees, and from there you just swing the elbows out. And just make sure that the weights and the hands go with the elbows, so you're still on a right angle here. Yeah. So lat raises, but lat raises in this 90-degree position. Just make sure you take the hands with you, otherwise we get what we call chicken wings. And at this point, when we do this in class, I'm always tempted to play the birdie song. And so there's your lat raise. Yeah. So that's, if you're not comfortable doing this, then do lat raises instead. It just goes to shoulder height, no higher than the shoulder, which is a good option and a very good exercise by itself. The next muscle group is the tricep muscles, which are the three muscles in the back of the arm here. A lot of people present at Senior Strength and Straights. They say they want to get rid of the tuck shop lady arms, or all the other myriad names that people come up with. Lunch lady arms we have. Bat wings is another one. So this is toning that particular muscle group. So if that's your thing, this is the one for you. And again, we've got an overhead version, which I'll show you, and then I'll give you another one which it doesn't involve overhead. So if you can do it overhead, this is the hardest one. So from here, extension. So I'll show you from the side. Both arms overhead, and then it's that extension there. Extension of the elbow, which is the tricep. There's three muscles in the back of the arm. govern that movement there. So from here, breathing out, tricep extension. Do single arm. Yeah, you could do double arm if you felt strong enough, if you felt stable through your shoulders. Really important that from the shoulder to the elbow are your stabilizers, so they stay nice and strong, and the movement is from the elbow down to the weight. Yeah, that's your tricep extension overhead. As I said, if you can't do that, I'll give you another option, and we're back to almost that position where we were doing the row earlier on when we started. We've got the hand on the back of the chair, or you could put the hand on the base of the chair. And from here, elbows nice and high, no movement in the shoulder. So it's not a shoulder movement, the shoulder's stable, it's still, and the movement's from the elbow, and we take the weight back from the elbow, and that's called our tricep kickback. So staggered stance, back into the hips, we've got that hip hinge, back nice and straight, elbow high, and tricep kickback. So that's your tricep exercise, single arm, obviously then swap legs, hip hinge and kick back on this side. So to begin with, I'd be looking at doing maybe 2 sets of 12, so 12 on this arm, 12 on this arm, bit of a rest, then go again. 12 to 15, very good for toe. And finally the biceps. So we've worked the shoulders, we've worked the triceps, the 3 muscles at the back of the arm, and now we've got the 2 muscles here in the front of the arm, the bicep muscles. And that's a flexion of the elbow. So extend the elbow, triceps. If you flex the elbow, it's the biceps allowing that flexion to happen. So you've got your weights, your cans, your carnation milk, your SPC pineapple rings in your hands, by your side, palms facing in. The biceps govern 2 movements. As we said, they govern the flexion, which is what we call a hammer curl, but they also govern the supination action. So we're going to put those 2 together. So we start with the palms facing each other, and when we finish with the palms facing you. And that slight twist has given us both the flexion and the supination. As with the tricep exercise, with the extension, we want to keep the elbow nice and still. So from shoulder to elbow, still, the movement's all happening from the elbow down to the weight. It's all through the forearm. And you can do those single arm or double, breathing out as you curl, breathe in, breathe out as you curl. Again, exertion, breathing out on the exertion part of the exercise, which is in the name of the exercise, the bicep curl. Breathe in, breathe out. Excellent. Sometimes we find if we're exercising in some of the community venues, Bond Street and Binnock Park, they have chairs with arms on, and it becomes quite awkward doing that. So you might, you can do a standing up version. So you can hold onto the chair, just a single arm bicep curl, and then you get that full movement, and nice and free. So resistance work, holding a weight that increases your body weight, and then we're working the back, the big muscle group, the back, the big muscle group, the chest with our press, the back with our pull, with our row. Shoulders, either press, if you can't, or you're not happy going overhead, then you can just take it to shoulder level with a lat raise. We've got a tricep, we've got our overhead tricep extension, and we've got our tricep kickback. You could do either of those. And then finally we've got our bicep curl for the other small muscle group. And in our warm-up we've done obliques, we've done abs, we've done some lower back work with the good mornings. So we're well and truly covered. We've worked, as I said, every joint, and so we're already set with a full body workout. No force, no stress, and full benefits of all that has increased bone density, increased muscle mass, the ability to perform your activities of daily life just that little bit better, a little bit stronger, with a little bit more ease. And that's all we want to do really. We're not training for marathons, we're just training to be able to do what we do every day, sitting down onto a toilet, standing up at the toilet, sitting down at the table, sitting down to watch the TV, lifting things, reaching for things, all these things we do every day. We just want to be able to do them with a little bit more ease and feel a little bit stronger. So once again, thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure sharing these with you, and I hope you get some great benefit from them. Thanks.